Last time we saw how the reigning Robot Wars champions Chaos 2 won through to this year's final with a display of cool, confident, crash 'em and bash 'em certainty. Dominator 2 and Pussycat fought it out to join them. It was close, but to the judges, you're the cat's whiskers. Set our boffins. Now for our second semi-final, which two will also make it through.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man whose birth was so difficult, it was nicknamed the Big Push, Craig Charles.
Wondered why the streets are so empty? It's because everyone's glued to their sofas for this, the second of our Robot Wars semi-finals. And what a semi-final it's shaping up to be. We've got ourselves another 8 qualifying robots who, since winning their heats, have been locked in a cupboard with nothing but a Celine Dion record. So as you can imagine, they're all very, 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 very angry indeed. But anger's just what we love on Robot Wars. As Master Yoda himself said, anger leads to hate. Hate leads to fear, and fear leads to a very big queue outside the backstage toilet. Let's see how they made it this far.
Splinter put the squeeze on Eric and earned a judge's decision.
Splinter!
Stinger gave Bulldog Breed the old heave-ho. The Mousetrap caught Little Fly, but it was a close squeak here. Spawn and Scatter had a dream heat final against the Nightmare. Thing also pitted the Steel Avenger. Exterminator got the nod against Behemoth.
Behemoth, the 6 seeds are out. It's Exterminator!
Panic Attack dumped Smidsy and looked very good. Not quite as good, though, as the favourite here. Hit with his shredded razor blade, and the number 2 seeds look deadly.
As usual, tonight's competitors will face off in a gruelling knockout competition. But these are the robotic muscle men. It's shape up or ship out of the arena. And in the end, only 2 survivors will return for next week's grand final, Robot Wars the Armageddon. But enough for me. I want to get bashing!
Craig, 6 seeds in this semi-final. Exterminator 2 against Wild Thing there at the bottom. Next up, what a horrible draw for Splinter against the second seeds Hypnodisc. Panic Attack against Spawn of Scutter. And Mousetrap against Stinger. They're in the pits right now with Jules.
Wired up and fired up in the pits, we have Stinger. This robot is a very interesting one. How it works is that if you put the brakes on, the arm comes slamming down, but if you put it into reverse, you get a serious hit of that, which is going to cause Mousetrap a lot of pain, we hope. Now, what's your strategy against them?
The strategy is it's well built, it's bulletproof, but with bulletproof, the problem is you hit them twice in the same place and you're through. So that's our strategy.
So hit it once and then the material changes sort of composition,
That's right, it deforms, yeah, changes properties. Hit it again and you're through.
This is the Mousetrap team. They've got their strategy. How do you think you'll fare?
I think we'll fare pretty well, actually. Because we've got a Mousetrap. And the idea is we're going to trap their robot. I think we get them in between the wheels, and then they'll be at our mercy, and we'll drag them into the pit or feed them to the robots or something.
You think you're the only robot here that can beat them, don't you?
Yep, no problem at all.
No problem, he says. That's 11 kg. It travels at 100 miles an hour. How does it look? Ouch.
From Lincoln, seed number 30, Stinger.
A spinning, whirling dervish with a narrow axe weapon at the back of the steel shell, mobilised on customised motorbike wheels. The tyres are vulnerable. Top speed of 18 miles an hour, though.
This is the Stinger team. On my left is Carl, my right is Tim, and I'm Kevin Scott, team captain. In the first round, we're up against some friends of ours, Hammer and Tong, with a Perspex top, which was no problems. Second fight was against Bulldog, a flipper robot, and we got right underneath and ripped them apart.
Next round, we're up against the Mousetrap, but we're no mouse.
From Oxford and Bristol, the Mousetrap.
A father and son team with a machine made from steel and Lexan. The unique weapon is powered by CO2, part scrapyard debris, and an old office desk. But don't you dare prepare to scrap the trap.
Hi, this is the Mousetrap. We are Team Mousetrap. This is my dad, Stan. I'm Jason. So this is the trap. As you can see, we picked up a bit of damage in the last battle against Little Fly. He's taken quite a few chunks out of the polycarbonate side. Did manage to penetrate it though, and we're still fairly solid inside. He also damaged our chain, took a couple of chunks out of the sprocket, so we've had to rewire the teeth. But we fixed that now, and this should work well. So we've got our 25mm high tensile solid bar, which is very effective. So I think we're ready to go to war.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Stinger with team captain Kevin Scott there in the middle at the controls, a design engineer, and Mousetrap with Jason Launchbury, a computer engineer for a software company there on the left.
2, 1.
Jason coached by Dad Stan. Just a little bit of a nudge underneath Stinger. In the earlier battles, those Stinger tyres were vulnerable to spikes all around the arena and to an attack. Mousetrap has this punishing 11-kilo force of trap weapon coming down there on the spring attack. Again, cocked back to come forward once again. Launch themselves at Stinger. Stinger tends to throw itself around an arena floor and spinning wildly on its side comes down now with that mighty mace-type axe there crashing down. And hear it reverberate on the arena floor. What control do the Stinger boys have? We have suspected that from time to time. Lovely to see it dancing and pirouetting, but not greatly effective. And don't forget, as we battle through to our 2 finalists from this second semi-final, the judges could be called in to make decisions, and they will judge on style, control, damage, and aggression. Stinger for me, and Kevin Scott doing all the work. Mousetrap tries to get away. Something's come off the side of Mousetrap. I think it's the chain that's used to control the trap weapon. It was damaged in the earlier rounds. You heard Jason talk about it, and I think that the Mousetrap weapon has been immobilised. Certainly, Jason looks perplexed. Just see Stan in the background there, and Mousetrap here, now without the weapon, literally has to use the wedge shape to nudge Stinger in towards a pit or a CPZ, the corner patrol zone, controlled by house robots like Matilda on the top of the picture there, waiting to come out, but this does not look good for Mousetrap. And those earlier victories, Evil Weevil, Something, Little Fly, Tiberius, all gone from the earlier heat, now mean nothing for Mousetrap as the house robots come in for the kill. That shunt with the axe, penetrating the polycarbonate top there of Mousetrap. And that's the end for them. That's Kill-A-Lot. You can see the chain split there, completely broken, dangling forlornly. The pit of oblivion descends. A little bit of Welsh rare brick first of all, perhaps, for the cheese left in the Mousetrap, which failed to catch Stinger. And the Lincolnshire robot goes through. The Mousetrap, I'm afraid, goes to the flames. Once we decide to show a little bit of mercy, Kill-A-Lot will take it ultimately to the pit. Resistance is futile, said one of the banners. And the long run for Mousetrap, brave this has been, ends right there and now.
Cease. The Stinger steals the cheese. Mousetrap eliminated. The Stinger march on! Well, this is your first ever venture into Robot Wars. So to make it to the semi-final, you've done really well anyway, haven't you?
We're really, really pleased, yeah. It's been really good fun.
You just didn't seem to have enough against Stinger then.
No, couldn't trap him.
Good robot.
It's a great robot. He's almost invincible, isn't he?
Yeah, we couldn't have lost to a better bunch of guys. Magic bunch of guys, magic robot.
What are your plans for the future? Are you going to build a better robot, a bigger robot, or are you going to adapt your robot at all?
We're going to build a better Mousetrap, I think. That's the plan.
Mousetrap 2 for next year.
Indeed, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Mousetrap team. A few more fights and you could be picking up a trophy, lads.
Well, we're doing our best. We're working hard.
It's a very unusual design, but it's a very tidy design, isn't it, the robot?
Yeah, well, it's compact, it's hard to hit.
Yeah.
And it just does the business in true style.
And it hits you really hard as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, brute force and ignorance, 3 design principles, that work really well.
And that really works well for Robot Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause, the Stinger Posse!
So the Mousetrap is first to bite the bullet in this semi-final. Stinger through. Next up, Panic Attack, the number 4 seeds, against Spawn of Scudder, the number 10 seeds. This one will be close.